Reels bonuses are disappearing, and you're probably freaking out because you are making quite a decent amount of money from them on Instagram every month, and now you're thinking, how the hell am I gonna keep making money on Instagram? Well, my friend, let me break it to you, but you should have never relied on Reels bonuses as your main source of income from Instagram. Instead, if you wanna make real good money on Instagram, and you should have done this already, is to create your own products or programs and sell them to your own audience. And I know you are thinking, but Juan, I have a pretty small audience. So what? If they're engaged, you can sell them anything. And in case you've never created a digital product or a program to sell on Instagram or social media, you are in luck because that's exactly what we're gonna be covering on today's video. So here's a step-by-step guide to create and launch your first digital product or program and make more money on Instagram. By the way, by program, I mean anything where you are offering your services live, either to a group of people, a group coaching program, or to just one person, a one-on-one program. So let's go. Step number one, you have to start with research and social listening. It doesn't matter how big or small your audience is. The fact is that you have an audience. And if you have one, you can already start making money on Instagram. Listen, there are tons and tons of creators or entrepreneurs with small audiences that are making 6 and 7 figures on Instagram because they have a good product or a program, they know who their audience is really engaged, and they are solving their problems with these programs or products. So coming back to your audience, you have to know who your audience is. You have to understand what are their fears and their struggles, what are their goals and desires, their biggest pain points. You have to understand their language, the words they use, what do they dream about, what keeps them up at night. You have to really have a clear picture of this in order to create the right content to attract them and also to convert them into customers of your products or programs. And if you already have an audience and you are not very sure about all these things, ask them. Instagram is the perfect tool for this. You can ask them through story polls and get them involved in your questions. Or you can also do a dedicated post where you are talking about this specific thing. Or you can also do a dedicated post where you ask them, what are you struggling with right now? What is your biggest problem? I do this all the time. And the people that comment on your post, this is market research. You're gonna utilize these answers or these comments to create content and also to direct your product or program creation. Another thing that you can do is go to your competitors page. Take a look at the biggest accounts in your niche or industry. Go to their posts, read the comments, read what people are posting in their comments. What questions are they asking? What problems do they have? What are the biggest struggles right now in their niche? And also, don't stay only on Instagram. You can do research on Facebook groups, on other online communities like Reddit, like Quora. Like seriously, there are so many ways in which you can start doing your research to understand what your audience needs right now so that you can create something that they really need, not what you think that they need, because that's a big problem. If you think that they need this and you create that without having done the previous research, you're probably gonna fail. So step number 2, you've done your research, you probably found what is the main common pain point for your audience. So you're gonna take this common pain point and start developing your product or your program. Remember that the best products or programs are not only those that solve problems, but those that also cater to emotions. So let's say that you're a food blogger and your audience are work from home moms that are struggling with lack of time to create healthy and balanced meals for their kids. So what is the emotion behind this problem? Well, the thought that if they don't give them the right nutrients and food, they'll probably end up malnourishing their kids, which will affect their health and development in the future, which will probably mean that they can end up being sick or a failure in society. These are the fears behind this specific problem we're talking about. So now you're gonna create a product or program around that. Now let's think about some of the solutions for this specific problem. It can be a recipe book with more than 100 recipes that are under 10 minutes to complete, or an efficient and effective video course for moms, or a membership with weekly recipes, support, community, and other benefits. So now that you have a vague idea of the kind of problem that you are trying to solve and the emotion behind this problem, it's time to choose the type of product or program. As I previously said, a program can be either a group coaching where you are doing live teaching with resources, with recordings of the videos, or a one-to-one coaching program where you are meeting every week or bi-weekly with that person to help them solve that specific problem and achieve a specific goal. In terms of digital products, there are various digital products that you can start creating. I'm gonna mention a couple of them in order of difficulty, from low effort and pricing to higher effort and pricing. So we've got templates, which is basically something that you've already created and that you give people so that they can just copy and paste whatever you're giving them. It can be email templates, it can be text templates, so anything from email templates or blog templates or social media captions templates, or it can also be graphics, or even spreadsheets can also be templates. Then you've got ebooks, which is basically when you put a lot of information together into a digital book and you sell it like that. You've got paid challenges, which is when you gather a group of people for a couple of days. It can be anything between 3 to 7 days, and there's a live component to this challenge where you send them content every day or a video every day and help them achieve a specific goal, the challenge itself. There's mini courses, which are basically when you pre-record and pre-create everything before selling it. Memberships, where you have a group of people that join your membership and you give them weekly or monthly content, you give them weekly or monthly support, and they get to be part of a community of like-minded people. And then you have bigger courses, which is basically a bigger program where you have a couple of modules, which is basically a bigger program where you have more modules than a mini course with more lessons and more resources and materials than just a mini course. These are just some of the products that you can create, but there are obviously way more products that you can find and create. If it's your first time creating a digital product, I would go for the easier one and see how that goes and how that resonates with your audience, and you can start creating bigger products in the long run. So once you've decided what your product or program will be, you've got to decide on the pricing, and this can be quite tricky. I know that everyone struggles with deciding on the right price for their products, especially if it's the first time you're creating one. My first digital product was a mini course that was priced at $47, and it sold like hotcakes. Why? Because it solved a specific problem that I knew that all my audience had at that time, and it was pretty affordable. Here are a few things that you should consider when pricing your product or program. So the first thing is to consider the value that it will provide to the customer. If your product will give the customer a tangible ROI, return on investment, fast, like making more money or saving more money or earning more money, then your price point can be higher. If your product also offers a signature framework or process that only you know that has worked for you or for your past clients or students, the price point can also be higher. On the other side, if your product only offers information like an ebook, then the price should be lower. The second thing to consider is your competitors' pricing. So part of your research when creating your product is to look around at your competitors and see if they have similar products, and this will give you an idea of what your price point should be. Again, it will depend on your expertise. If you've been in the market, if you've been doing this for many years, you probably have more knowledge and experience than someone who's just getting started, so you can also increase your price based on that. And the third thing to consider is your target market. You need to be really aware of who you're targeting. If you're targeting a budget-conscious audience, then of course, you cannot go very high with your price point. If you're targeting a more affluent audience, you can definitely go higher with your prices. You've done your research, you know what problem your product will be solving, you know what type of product or program you're creating, you have decided on the price point of your product, now it's time to create it. Depending on the product or choice, this can take from 1 week up to a couple of weeks. Going back to programs, these tend to be live when you are meeting every week or every 2 weeks with a group of people or one person. You can create these programs as they go. I've done this in the past with my coaching programs where every time I had to meet with someone, I would prepare the session in advance. So that's an advantage to it. You don't have to create everything in advance, but it does mean that you have more work to do week after week. So that's with live programs. The great thing about live programs is that you can turn them into self-paced programs after you've done a couple of trials and after you've seen how people react to these programs or the results that these programs bring to people. So that's a great thing that you can do. And when it comes to products, digital products, again, an ebook might take you a week to create. A mini course might take you 2 to 3 weeks. A course might take you 3 months. Again, if this is your first time creating a product, I would go for the easiest and fastest way so that you can have something ready to put out and test. For this, I would suggest you use Adobe Express. They have tons of templates for ebooks, for guides, so that you can just add your information there, add your branding, and you're ready to go. If you are selling templates, you probably already use these in your day-to-day life. So think about what will benefit your audience. As I said previously, it can be email templates for outreach if you're targeting freelancers. It can be the spreadsheets you use to track your finances or your sales. It can be anything that you currently use that you have created yourself. You can sell these as templates, actionable templates that people can start using right away. If you are creating bigger digital products like a course or a membership, I would 100% recommend you Kajabi. That's the tool that I use, and I'm gonna be sharing a link in the description. If you wanna try it out, Kajabi is not free, but with this link that I'm sharing, you will get 30 days of Kajabi for free so you can set up your own product, your first course or your membership. They have a great AI tool that will do all the heavy lifting for you. So once again, link in the description, give it a go. But there are other tools as well, like Teachable, Thinkific, StanStore, Searchy, etc. Please let me know if you'd like a video on how to create a course or a membership inside of Kajabi, and I'll happily create one for you. And now that your product is ready, it's time to market it. It's time to launch it and sell it to your Instagram audience. So the first thing you need to have is a landing page or a sales page, depending on the product. If it's an ebook, your sales page can be a short sales page. If it's a course, it's gonna be a longer sales page with more information. We can talk about that in a separate video because there's a whole science behind creating a sales page that convert. But there's also other tools like StanStore that allow people to buy your products directly from your link in bio. So they click on your link, they go to your link in bio microsite, and you have your products there. They don't have to leave that place. They can see what the product offers, the benefits and the features, and they can buy it from there. Remember that we've talked about this previously. The less steps there are between when someone clicks on that link and is interested in buying something from you until the purchase, the less steps there are in that process, the more likely that that person will convert. So if you're just getting started with products, I would 100% suggest you start with StanStore. And once your landing page is live and you're ready to start bringing traffic, you need to promote the hell out of your product. The great thing about Instagram is that there are so many placements where you can do this that it will never get repetitive. But I do have to say that if you want more sales, you have to sell more. First thing is to eliminate that negative connotation or that negative mindset around selling. Think about selling as serving your audience. You're serving them with something of value that will solve their problems and cater to those negative emotions behind those problems. So you're actually making them a favor. So don't think that selling is icky or that you shouldn't be selling. Fact is that if you are an entrepreneur or someone that wants to make money on Instagram, you have to sell. Get rid of that fear of selling if you want to sell more. So how can you sell more? You're gonna talk about your product between 3 to 4 times per week. I know people that talk about their products every day. They're selling on stories every day. And guess what? They're the ones who make the most money on Instagram. You'll also create a highlight that works kind of like a mini landing page, where again, you're gonna be talking about the benefits that this product has, the problems that it's solving, talking about the emotions that this problem has, because you have to cater to the emotions of these people. And of course, a link, a call to action, and a link to buy. You're gonna add it to your link in bio. If you want better results, especially if you are having a launch campaign that can go from 5 to 10 days, have the link to your sales page as the main link in your bio. I use microsites like StanStore, where I have my different products and my freebies and other places where I want to drive my audience from Instagram. And that's okay to have, but when you are in launch mode, when you've just released something, the best thing you can do is to have only that link in your link in bio with a clear call to action, of course. Then you're gonna create content, feed posts around that specific problem that your audience has, catering to that problem, catering to those emotions. And again, specific call to action saying, if you are tired of suffering from this, if you are scared of having this or doing this, then this is the product for you. Go to my link in bio or DM me a specific word and I'll send you more information. But you have to sell in your content as well. And go live. I've talked about this quite often because it's really, really important. Lives are where I've gotten most of my sales when I'm launching. Why? Because I've been talking about this over and over again in stories and feed posts. But when I go live to answer people's questions about that specific problem that my product solves, people are hot there. And by hot, I mean they're like excited. They know what the product is. They've read about it. They've heard about it. So they are a warmer or hot audience, right? So if you are there answering their questions and then they ask you something, you answer the question, and then you, by the way, I go deeper into this topic in my ebook, or I go deeper into this topic in my course. DM me the word course and I'll send you the link. They're more likely to buy because they are in excitement. They are in the zone. Now, there's definitely more science behind a successful launch on Instagram. I've just covered the basics in case this is your first time creating a product and launching. If you also want a video on launch strategies for Instagram, please let me know in the comments and I'll create one for you. In the meantime, the waitlist for my signature program is open. This is a program where I will be teaching you, it's a live program actually, where I will be teaching you how to monetize your Instagram presence, whether you have a small or a big audience, with different monetization strategies. So just click on the link in the description to join the VIP list and you'll be the first person to find out when we open doors again, and you'll get early access, VIP pricing, extra bonuses and other surprises. And if you learned something new, don't forget to like, share this with someone who might need it. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. See ya.